themselves to strafe through it, but in hops Star. He's looking for this flush.
Ooh.
He's looking to control. That's the cross control that we were looking for from Spec. He finds Cleon, and now Nasa down to 2. The flushes have come in, and it looks like more are really starting to flag, but Nasa have eaten a bullet or two in their time in this fight as well. It's not looking good for either of these two rosters.
Oh, man. It's definitely looking better for Nacer, though, as they brought it back. It was a 2v3 with a 4th potential revive, but Morph just dropped the ball completely, all down to Rocky, and he's only got that shotgun. He ran out of ammo and his other weapon, and Rocky goes down. That's a win for Nacer, but losing to
Island. So either they've all moved in there in just a moment after, obviously, that hard southwest shift, or there's been a lot of elbow-to-elbow play from these teams on the drop.
Oh, yeah, you can see these players are not expecting this many people close by. The DBS misses.
Whoa.
Quick trade from the distance. That's a good supporting sight line from the 7th region of the ruins that you mentioned, because there's so many players there, and they definitely looted whatever they can, but that's not much. The first circle is on that southwestern side, like you mentioned. Teams from the north, northeast all have to start closing in, and the north side, that ruins area, is going to get very congested as the match goes on.
Yeah, 7th Element did, in fact, drop on that northwestern island on the mountaintop near Camp Alpha, and they have moved down to provide that crunch. In the meantime, looks like we got a little bit of a holdout on Hale, who have been suffering. They tried to move back down south after they were pushed away by 7th Element with that knock, with that flush. And Hale fleeing for their lives, and a lovely nade comes through from QX to find a knock, and almost the second as well. Tiger cowering behind the rock now as Junie with the oversight coming through. But not able to find a Tiger. Makes the break and gets across to cover.
Yeah, safe for now. But down to 1, 15 teams left alive. Only placement points is what they can really look for, and that's going to be difficult. Enigma Galaxy, this is on the far southern side as they're coming in now. A little bit of third party from distance. They got a knock earlier, no thirst. So Duskin will be able to get that reset. And Enigma Galaxy is pretty much looking towards dead center of the circle. That is where Duskin Esports, right there on your screen, are positioned.
Just trying to get away from the hail of fire from Enigma Galaxy right now on that south edge. Fairly central position. We're waiting on this next.
First week, can the other Brazilian teams this week do the same? A lot of shots ringing through, none connect.
You have to figure out your path. Looks like Intense Game going to roll straight on up into the Lion's Den here, but maybe they've bitten off a little bit more than they could chew. Diego trying to send out wide, but the DPS is just not connecting here. Not for Intense either way, because Sunan is able to swivel on the spot.
Tell you, they're looking to take that hillside. They know that's a strong position, but more than likely occupied. Studio Alliance is there. And a very wide split, controlling it. Olio prone behind the rock. Does spot movement. Not going to take shots. Doesn't want to give away his position just yet. His teammates, though, definitely raining in shots. And now they are going to fire. They're going to find one. But that is another team. That's N-Hyper from the low ground shooting up at Canina Power. And you said it. This is going to be really difficult for them to find a way in. And they are not going to have a clean way in at all. Losing 1, 2, maybe even more players already.
Slap bang on Painan with the next circle as well. It's going to be great for next Ruya on the northwest side, but they have lost a player. FaZe, maybe with a bit of control. As you do Alliance wanting to hold out Canina Power further, but they have got their work cut out for them now because they are up close and personal. A nice push out comes through for Canina Power, but there is a 1-2 punch for You-Do Alliance. And they're able to hold on this east side as Becca falls now. Palucci looking to hold the fort, but with players and one of them on the knee, it's going to be real tough going. Unfortunately, You-Do Alliance, though, they've lost a player. And who's this? They're rocking up into the fight.
Ooh, NB Esports with a great third-party timing. They hear all the commotion. They know they're not in the zone, and they do drive right up. Tiger, last player up for Hale. He's been in the shed for quite a while, and he's going to get taken down by Inko. Surely 1v4. He gets a knock, but that's about it. Inko slowly working their way in, keeping 4 up. They're going to have to drive straight in as that blue zone is right on top of them. And here's that third-party intent by NB Esports working out really well for them. You-Do Alliance now down to 2. More importantly, for the side of NB Esports, so to get control of the top hill.
There's another knock coming through. N-Hyper being a really difficult backstop for these teams trying to rotate on this southeast side, trying to move up this coastline. But N-Hyper just shutting the door time and time again. Not a crack left open. Excellent stuff from the lone representatives from the NA region. Trying to have a little bit of regional pride on board. It looks like they got a bit of chip on their shoulder for it. It's working out for the time being. No eliminations found, though. They haven't been able to add those to the tally, despite their efficacy on that coast.
Yeah, and Hyper just really struggles to pick up those elimination points early on. We saw it through the Americas and the league stage, but hopefully they'll turn things around. They have 4 up, which is good for them. Nanabete snaking up. Oh, wait, that was the last player from Inco?
Yeah.
Wow, we saw them as 4 just seconds ago, but this is Sandhawk after all, taken down to just 1, and they're out.
Brazil where, man? What's going on? Both of our Brazilian teams getting taken out early with very little points gained. Inco 2 points. Intense game 0. They went down pretty early on as well. And yeah, Inco just tried to rotate past Enigma Galaxy and 7th Element, got caught in the crossfire, and just didn't have the strength to pull through. This Pinon circle is brutal.
Oh, yeah, this is probably one of the more brutal Sandhawk circles, especially with the way it constantly shifted. Pinon is the focal point, and Hyper does have a great position on the edge. They doing that split across both riverways. I'm pretty sure they're hoping it swings to one side so they could stack, but man, it's still that 50-50, and no one's going to break into Pinon for free at this point.
It is very heavily fortified. Those hills that sit just to the north side may be able to house a little bit more for NB Esports, but FaZe have got their own problems. You see that in the picture-in-picture on the left-hand side of your screen. 628 trying to get through. They've been playing pretty well. I liked their rotation from that northwest island, playing up to that trifecta compound, but here it looks like they might really start to struggle. FaZe have got ahead of them, and getting around this headland is very, very tricky.
Yeah. I'm thinking 6-8. It looks like they're going to try and just not engage that fight. It doesn't give them much cover, you know, playing down at those rocks. There are sightlines that will spot them out. They have 4 up. I'm surprised they're giving up that fight. It is a difficult fight, though. Instead, they're going to try and sneak into Pinon. And we have Nextruya right here. It is spotted. Nade in hand. That's going to be deadly if he could connect. He will back up for now. Maybe bait out some util from the side of STE before he returns.
Dokuma backing off the door frame. Looks like they feared the ordnance, but you've got that crossfire from Zeb Wolf. You've got 7th Element as well across the way. This is exactly what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
You push up, you just don't have cover.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't try and engage a 4v4 against FaZe. FaZe is in a great spot, or not great spot on top of that hill, but a better spot than staying down on the riverside. And NB Esports playing this so well, starting from the hill, third party, and now sweeping down, catching the side of FaZe. Ben Torres, last one up, trying to get at least 1 point for the team. The DB can fourth. He does find a knock, and he gets the confirmation too. But I think, yep, that's as far as he will go. NB Esports will lose 1 player. Very unfortunate for them. Next circle comes in, and it is still right on to Pinon.
Oh, we're kicking it off nice and spicy today in Sandhawk. Everybody rags and tags, except for Duxan in the middle of Pinon. You've got Enigma Galaxy who've been able to hold it down on the south side as well, playing as 4, but everybody else are quite split on that south side. There is a potential opening here if they crash right.
Definitely so, and they're split, but they're doing a great job with their split. They're up to 6 eliminations, playing split from in there. It's not all the time you see teams at the compound able to pick up eliminations, as that tree is going to be the death of those 2 players. Oh man, keep your eyes, well, not on the road, but what's right in front of you, and that tree does cost them very dearly. Last player up, NB Esports. Can he snake it out? Maybe get some placement points. Top 8 is not much placement points whatsoever. As Nextruya now firing shots, nades come in, NB Esports taken out.
It is so tough to approach Pinon at this point. 3 teams have been locking it down for ages. Nextruya on that northwest point, looking to try and hold out 628. Sunan is still going for 628, despite their open ground push that got them torn to pieces there. N-Hyper going down with no eliminations as well. And a lot of teams trying to make that push. Here comes Enigma Galaxy, and they have actually found a way into Pinon on the southwest point.
Yep. Yeah, that split from Duskan, not able to stop any of the players from Nigma Galaxy coming in. Nigma Galaxy in a really great position, but will this 50-50 limbo continue? A 6-8 actually managed to get Sunon into the zone. I don't know how he managed to do that, and the circle goes right on to Nongshim Red Force, but both sides of the river still in the next circle.
It actually kind of favors Nigma Galaxy on the rotation here, because Ducksan are going to have to regroup further south, right? Next, Ruya should be able to watch those crosses, watch those shifts, but if you're going to open up onto groups, if you're going to find these knocks, that is an excellent signal for Ducksan to try and regroup south. And that is a split knock as well, meaning they can't go for that instant res.
Yeah, they're going to have to cross over, and that player watching that cross very keenly. They do make the crossover. The revive will come through. Ducksan does make more leeway into this zone, though, and you can see they're getting ahead of Nigma Galaxy off just that knock alone. So even though no confirmation, that knock was huge. It might have given them positional power to win this match if they can make it across. This
about those crossfires through the streets. It's so hard to move south, and now we have no teams with all 4 players alive, except for Nigma Galaxy, who have been just slowly marching forwards. This is great stuff from this roster, from this team. Starting out well. Dipcan with the angle down the alleyway, but he's got a wall right next to him. Can't really do much than just try and fade away from this one as they try and cross the river. They need to get across, but the time is running out. Next, Ruya still on this crossfire as they continue their pressure from that north side as Ducksan clash in the streets of Painan, and nobody is looking good. Nobody's looking hot for it. The nades pour through. So many knocks on this southwest side, and it is curtains for Ducksan, who have held out for so long, and Ralph not long for it either.
Yeah, Nigma Galaxy does manage that 3rd place position, though, so that was good for them. That's the best they can hope for, because neither of those teams are making it across this river, not with Nongshim and Next Ruya looking dead at them. Now it's down to the final 2 teams. A 3v4 scenario. Nongshim with the man advantage. Center zone does fall in favor of Nongshim as well, because there is no more circles here, but they have clear visions right down the middle. Next, Ruya definitely with their backs up against the wall.
The circle finishes inside of that warehouse, out to the east, out to the right-hand side of Tizzy as you look at it. So it's a lot of open ground here. That wall might come into play quite importantly. How many nades do they have left? That Molotov from Tizzy could be pivotal. If he launches it through now, may be able to use it a little bit later to control more space, but might not have that opportunity. Might be taken away from him next Ruya.
Oh,
powerful. But in goes the Molotov. That is brilliant to find the burn onto Dokkanma, and he is going to fall to it. So another man up in the advantage now for Nongshim Red Force. As Tizzy holds the wall, playing back and forth. Can they step out? Can next Ruya pull it back together? They got 4 players to handle. Tizzy doesn't manage to land the first shot, and a Blazo will find that first flush, but Frozen is there. They cut them down. It is Nongshim to be able to take home this first chicken dinner. It was the burnout, the bleed out for next Ruya. And what a way to kick things off here for Group Red. The Painan finish over on that north side. Nongshim Red Force